Hard work is the most dangerous advice anyone ever gave you. Not because it's wrong, but because no one tells you what happens when you work hard on the wrong things. Okay, let's take a trip back in time because I want to show you that this isn't theory. I have lived through it. This is my life. I came to America from Liberia, West Africa, when I was 12 years old. My family lost everything to the war. My father, who used to own a business worth $1 million, had to start over from scratch. My mother had to feed 4 kids alone in a new country. So what did I learn early? You work, don't complain. You earn everything. Nobody gave you nothing. And I carried that. I built skills. I got a degree. I landed a good job, comfortable pay, good culture, stacked kitchen, team events was great. It was the type of job your family back home would call and say, "You made it." I was starting to believe them. I was starting to get comfortable. But comfortable isn't safe. Comfortable is asleep. Here's why I say that. My work document expired. I was on temporary protected status because of the war in Liberia. Every year I renewed. But that year, the government had a shutdown. They sent a letter saying I could keep working until they reopened. But my job didn't accept. One phone call, that's all it took. And my boss said, "I'm sorry, Rudy, we can't keep you." You see, I had just gotten engaged. I was planning a wedding, and now I had zero income. I did what every immigrant in survival mode does. I scrambled. I started looking for any job I could find. But this time I had a plan. 3 years later, I started my own business. I didn't know what to do, so I jumped on Upwork. I started taking anything I could find. I got a project, big scope, real technical work, the kind of project I knew I could deliver something special. The rate, embarrassing. But I took it because survival doesn't negotiate. Say yes and figure it out later. And I worked hard on that project. Nights, weekends, holiday. I gave them everything because that's what I was taught, right? Give more than they expect. Outwork everyone. And eventually they will see your value. Except that's not what happened. They saw my value and they gave me more work at the same low price. I was exhausted, frustrated, and I started thinking, maybe this whole business thing wasn't for me. Maybe I should go back and get a regular job. And I'm telling you, the devil is a liar because as soon as I was thinking that, I got a salary offer. Good one, stable job, benefit, you name it. The kind of job that will make my parents say, "See, that's more like it." I could hear every fiber in my bones screaming, "Take it. Go back to what you know. Go back to what's safe. Stop struggling." And so my wife and I prayed. And I could feel God saying, "If you go back now, you will never leave again." So I said no. Now, instead of asking, how do I work harder? I started asking a completely different question. What if I have been working hard on the wrong things? That was the realization. That was the one thing that changed. Not my skills, not my hours, not my effort, my direction. I stopped selling my time and started selling my transformation. I stopped describing what I do and started describing what my clients get. I stopped charging per the hour and started charging by the problem I solved. I went from $65 an hour to 200K projects. Same experience, same everything, different direction. The reason I told this story, and I want you to hear this clearly, is that you are not stuck because you're not working hard enough. You are stuck because the effort are pointed at the wrong thing, and nobody ever taught you how to eat. And that's not your fault, but it is your responsibility now because now you know. All right, now you understand the trap. You see how it works. You see where it comes from. So now let's fix it. I'm going to give you 3 shifts. Simple, not easy, but clear. And right now, you don't need more information. You need clarity. So that's what I'm giving you. Shift number 1, sell the transformation, not your time. You see, your client do not care about how many hours you work. They don't. They only care about one thing. Did the problem disappear? And did the result show up? That's it. When I was selling my time for $65 an hour, I was competing with everyone. And guess what? There was always someone cheaper than me. There was always someone willing to work more hours for less. But when I started selling the outcome, when I could say, the engineering team is wasting $180,000 on rework, and my process can eliminate half of that in the first engagement, then suddenly my $25,000 fee wasn't expensive. It was a bargain. So stop selling hours. Start selling the gap between the pain and the payoff. Shift number 2, replace invisible humility with confident clarity. Remember what I said about the invisible weight? This is where it lives. Most of you are walking around with real expertise, real results, but you can't speak about it. Something inside of you is saying, don't brag, don't show off. Let your work speak for itself. But here's the thing, your work can't speak. You have to speak. I'm not telling you to be arrogant. I'm telling you to be clear. There's a difference. Confident humility says, this is what I do. This is who it's for. This is what it costs. Take it or leave it. See, that's not bragging. That's serving. Because the person who needs you, they can't find you if you are hiding behind humility. Shift number 3, work on your clarity before you work on your business. This is the one that ties everything together. 9 times out of 10, when someone comes to me stuck, they're not missing talent. They're not missing discipline. They're missing a roadmap. They can see exactly where they want to go, but they don't know how to get there. They can't explain who they help, why they are different, or why someone should pay them premium instead of going to a cheaper option. And so, what do? They work harder. They take on more clients at lower rate. They add more services. They stay on the treadmill. But clarity is what gets you off the treadmill. When you know who you serve, what problem you solve, and what payoff you deliver, everything changes. That's the shift from survival to stability. Not more effort, but better direction. That's why I said hard work is dangerous without direction. Because effort without clarity just keep the treadmill running. So here's what I want you to do. Don't just watch this video and go back on the treadmill. Go work hard, but work hard on the right thing. Because the right thing are the 3 foundations. Your position, who you serve, and where you stand within the market. Your message, what you say that make the ideal people lean in. And your value, what your service actually worth based off the problem you solve. Those 3 things are the difference between running on a treadmill and running towards something real.